Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Christopher John Shipe?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. This is Judge Middleton here at the court. I forgot I unzipped my robe. Also with us is Ms. Matea Paycheck from the Public Defender Office. This case has a long tortured history. It's file 201588SM. It originally charged aggravated assault. There was quite a history before the matter was resolved. The defendant entered a plea to assault and battery. And the complaining witnesses were very unhappy with the prosecutor's office for the plea agreement. But I gave you 12 days in jail and deferred 81 days back in February of 2022. Then you failed to appear and you had a contempt, and I gave you 1 day jail in April of 22. Then you failed to appear in November of 22 and you had 2 days jail. So that's a total of 15. And then I revoked your probation and gave you 81 days in jail, but reserved on the restitution. I set a hearing to show cause why you weren't paying your probation and you didn't show up. So I issued a bench warrant for your arrest. And you called a time or two to talk about it, but never showed up. And the warrant has been out ever since. So I've essentially given you all of the jail time that I could have given you under the original sentence. I did everything except hit you over the head with a stick to get you to try to pay restitution. So I indicated, and you know, the Schultz family is very upset about this whole thing. So let me ask you a couple of questions. How did you come to be arrested today?
I was heading to the store to get some milk, and I got pulled over on a moped that was not licensed.
This is a bench warrant arraignment in the matter of Christopher J. Shipe. File number is 201588. Also present is Matea Paycheck from the Public Defender Office. And when was that? This morning?
It was last night, around 7 or 8.
Oh, sorry. All right, thank you. Well, when I first came in this morning at 7:15 or so, I looked at the roster and you weren't on it. And later on in the morning, they added it. Are you still on Fair Road?
Oh, no, sir. I have no place to call home right now. I haven't had for a while, since all this started, actually. The first time I went to jail, I ended up losing my job and my vehicle, everything, and that my vehicle's the biggest problem right now. If I were to have a vehicle, I would have been able to keep a job. That, depending on everybody to get me to do my job, and it's just the world's beating me up, Judge.
Yes. As I indicated, they were very unhappy about this, and you knew there was a warrant out for you. You were just waiting for this hammer to fall. I'm going to continue this. There's really not much more I can do to you. I've given you the maximum allowable jail sentence. I found you in contempt several times. We've collected very little money about this. You're homeless. You don't have any money. Somebody had put a note in the file that you had been in jail in Branch County. Had you been in Branch County?
That was last night. That's where I got
Oh,
picked
so you
up.
got arrested in Branch County
Yeah,
last night. All right. All right, I'm going to continue this to 2 p.m. tomorrow to allow the Schultzes to zoom in. But at some point, I'm gonna have to just, I've taken this as far as I can take it. Anyway, we'll continue this until tomorrow. Your bond is denied. As I indicated, you knew this warrant was outstanding and just tried to stay under the radar. So have you been staying in Branch County?
I've been staying both places, St. Joe and Branch. I go between a few different places. I stay a couple nights here, a couple nights there. It's just where they would let me fall asleep, really. I've been working my butt off trying to build up enough money to get a vehicle, to keep a job, in order to be able to pay all
Yeah,
this.
it's hard when you're at ground zero to work your way from there. Well, right now you're safe and warm and you got something to eat, but I'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. We'll provide notice to the complainants. All right, thank you.
In my behalf, Judge, I've really been trying hard.
All right,
I can't get a foot ahead, man.
let's see if we can come to an end of this. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Matea. But as a practical matter, he's already served more than 93 days in jail on a 93-day misdemeanor, but defendant says he has been working hard. We'll take a shot at it tomorrow. All right, we have just one brief hearing this afternoon. We didn't have any final pretrials for today. We're going to readdress the contempt bench warrant for Mr. Christopher Shipe that we did yesterday. I adjourned the matter for at least a day to allow the original complaining witnesses, the Schultzes, to be here. And they're here actually live in the courtroom. And we'll begin here in just a moment, as soon as the jail brings Mr. Shipe up. Good afternoon, Mr. Shipe.
Good afternoon, Judge.
I expected that the public defender was going to be here. This was set for 2. It's 1:57. And I'll call the case. We'll just talk about a couple preliminary matters. This is file 201588 SM. It's a very old case, 3.5 years old. Has quite a history. You're in custody on this, on a child support matter, and a fail to appear or fail to pay in circuit court. Have you dealt with those other matters?
Yes, sir, I have.
So has a friend of the court seen you on the non-support?
No, she has not yet, sir.
Has Judge Stutzman see you?
Yes, he has.
What did he give you, a day credit a day or something?
No, he gave me 5 days and told me that I needed to pay before the next month. He gave me 5 days and.
All right. And you've yet to see the friend of the court?
Yet to see them yet. Yes.
All right, our chief public defender, Mr. Stickley, is joining us. He was here yesterday when we did this, and he is back. Mr. Stickley, Mr. Shipe has 2 other matters of circuit court show cause, and Judge Stutzman gave him 5 days. So he apparently has 4 more days to do on that. And he has to deal with a non-support matter from the front of the court. This case, as I said, has quite a history. It was originally charged for an incident that occurred in June of 2020 with aggravated assault, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail. The matter was reduced by the prosecutor to a charge of assault and battery. And I gave a jail sentence, I think originally of 12 days and ordered restitution. The defendant was placed on probation, didn't pay the restitution. Probation was revoked. He did an additional 81 days in jail. So he's done 93 days, which is the statutory maximum of the offense. And then several other attempts to collect with show cause power has resulted in, I believe, another 5 days. So I think he spent about 98 days in jail on a 93-day misdemeanor. And his probation was revoked. He has financial obligations in the circuit court. He also has child support issues. Mr. and Mrs. Schultz, I don't know if you saw any of the feed from yesterday. Mr. Shipe at this point indicated he's essentially homeless. He lost his job when I gave him 81 days in jail. Has been struggling to get back on his feet since that time. Is that accurate, Mr. Shipe?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, Mr. Schultz or Mrs. Schultz, you can come have a seat up here if you'd like to. Is there anything else you'd like me to know?
Well,
Why don't you come up here where I can see on the camera and I can hear you?
well, I think it's a little ridiculous that he hasn't been able to find a job or anything, you know, I mean, there's been plenty of jobs out there, you know, for him to just ignore everything, you know, and I'm just fit to be tied at this particular moment.
Well, all right, they've been upset about this since the prosecutor reduced the charge, but you can't go to jail for being poor. Now you can go to jail for failing to appear, and eventually you got picked up on this. I've given you the statutory maximum allowable time on the sentence. I've had 3 or 4 show cause hearings in an attempt to collect without any success. Presently, you don't have any money. You're not collectible. And I can't, by law, sanction you for not paying if you don't have the ability to pay. So as a practical matter, you're probably never going to get any money out of Mr. Shipe.
I'll drag his ass in court.
Well,
time
you
I
can-
turn around.
I'm not going to do it anymore. You can sue him. You can convert this into a money judgment and try to collect him. But I'm not going to keep throwing him in jail because he doesn't have the ability to pay on your debt.
Let's go.
So you're free to go.
Come on.
So I'm going to order the additional jail time. You're going to be in for 5 more days as it is. I'm going to give 2 days jail credit, 2 days. You aren't going to get out because Judge Stutzman still has a hold on you. But you certainly aren't going to get any money if you don't get a job. And as a practical matter, if you get a job, they're going to take your money for child support. You also owe criminal money to the circuit court. You don't have any money to give to the Schultzes. And so he's mad. He continues to be mad. But I'm not going to keep locking you up, taking jail bed space for money that essentially isn't going to be able to collect. You've got 100 days on a 93-day misdemeanor. I can't do really any more. So 2 days, credit 2 days. I find you're in contempt. But you're no longer on probation. I've only allowed probation for 2 years. I revoked your probation and gave you the maximum allowable sentence. So I'm sorry, Ms. Schultz, there's really nothing else I can do. He's still mad.
May I say something?
Yes,
Do I need to come up?
yes, please.
So he claims he did have a job that he lost because of this, but he wasn't making payments then. So he never had the intention of paying,
You're probably correct.
you know? And I think it's horrible that the court allows all these pleas and getting
Now,
out
let me
on
stop you
good
from that.
behavior.
I didn't allow the plea. That was
No,
the prosecutor.
did.
All right, well, I didn't have anything to do with that. I gave him the maximum allowable sentence. What do I do? Go punch him in the nose? There's nothing else I can do to him.
I mean, they made false statements to the police about me and
I understand
it's-
you're upset about it, but I don't, this is not a civil judgment, it's a criminal judgment. And he probably did not have any intent to pay, so I gave him the maximum allowable jail sentence. This is a criminal court, not a civil court. And I didn't make the plea agreement. And he didn't get any good time. He served more than the maximum allowable time. But as a practical matter, you're wasting a lot of energy and emotional capital on a debt that's probably never going to be paid. You can convert the criminal conviction into a civil recovery, but you're not going to get any money anyway. He doesn't have any money, and he owes money to the circuit court and he owes money to the friend of the court. So I understand you're unhappy about it, but I don't have a better answer. But I'm glad you're here, and I wanted you to have an opportunity to be here before I did anything. Mr. Shipe, when you're done with the circuit court sentence, you can be released, and if they lift the front of the court hold. All right, you're free to go.
All right, can I just say something on my behalf?
Yes?
I've lost more than what everybody sees or anything like that. When I was sent to jail, I lost my home, I lost my vehicle, I lost my family, all because of this. I don't know what else they
Well,
want
that's
from me.
apparently not enough for Mr. Schultz, so I don't know what to say. Hopefully, when you can get out, you can start from here, and you can only go up from here.
yeah, because my husband has a lifetime of pain and suffering. So.
Yeah, so there's enough to go around. All right, you're free to go. Sometimes there's no good answer to a question. And, but that completes this matter. Thank you, Mr. Stickley.
Have a good day.